Good morning, lands between. I'm not Godwyn, and we will discuss the different colors of fire in Elden Ring. We'll also look into the ghoulish hints magma has left us, leading to soul transfer. And we will let our thoughts stew over the topic of the Crucible. Yes, the Crucible. We'll also find out if we're flesh and blood or something else entirely.
I hope you're hungry for nothing.
The many hues of fire in Elden Ring have always interested me, mainly because they all seem to come from a different magical origin, or at least separate factions. Carrion fire found at Ymir's Cathedral and in Crystal Mines, St. Trina's Slumber fire, Gravity flames, Night flames, Putrescent ghost flames, Glintstone flames, Ghost flame, Poison flame, Frenzied flame, Golden flames, the Prince of Death flames and Omen flames, regular fire and dragon fire, beast repelling fire and sentry fire, giant's flames, blood flames, taker's flames, Messmer's flames, destined death flames, dragon communion flames, dreg flames, scarlet rot fire, the flame of ambition, and of course, black flame. The fact that Messmer secretly flags you if you are wearing fire prelate armor, the godskin fat, or Lionel's chest armor, it goes way beyond body shaming. He seems to recognize something in these armor sets. These three factions are linked to fire.
This is what it feels like to have the highest testosterone levels.
Golden flames seem to symbolize sacrifice and martyrdom, a noble and heroic end to a legacy. Hero graves seem to have this gold fire on their sconces and torches. Mohg views himself as a hero, and so does Morgott, but Mohg becomes a true martyr. Real-world practices of burning their sacrifices to the gods goes way, way back.
The gift of sausages ascends unto Offla, the sacred crocodile, by means of smell.
And then you eat the sausage.
A common misconception. But the true sausagidity goes to Offla. He eats the essence of the sausages, while we priests eat the earthly shell.
The arena where we fight Lita and the gang may have even been where many sacrificial blood sports have taken place. Deathbirds seem to be the shepherds of those who died full of resentment. It seems rancor and similar skull flames stem from desecration and death, whether being digested, swallowed by magma, thrown into the sewers, or simply forgotten. How rude. We must feed the flames in order to burn away the past, quite literally.
They taste like burning.
The Frenzied flame seems to be an inside job, where the authorities at the time find an undesirable group of people and then pin the blame for incurring the wrath of the Frenzied flame on said group. For it is better to summon something in a cage as a preliminary strike, but the real injustice was cutting out Kale's passionate speech. The best voice acting in the game, if you ask me.
They're hardly human anymore. They think we worship the three fingers, that we called the maddening sickness down upon them. Well, if that's what they expect from us, then that's what they shall get from us!
Or perhaps the Frenzied flame is so persistent due to sleep deprivation, circadian rhythms, and a nightlight America forgot to turn off. Like most northern cities, continuous sunlight and prolonged darkness can cause hallucinations and worse symptoms due to sleep debt.
Cut off his manhood and feed it to the goats.
No. There are no goats, half-man.
We'll make do.
Now this is quite an odd topic for me to discuss. It's why I've decided to go it alone and make breakfast for everyone early this morning. This goes deeper than people eating people. It is about becoming what you eat, and then the excess of this that leads to eating more of what you have become. Magma worms dabble in excess by continuing to eat dragon hearts even after obtaining sufficient power. Though the thirst is so powerful it's hardly their fault. These crawling Pepto-Bismol ads had piqued my curiosity. But then Bayle comes swooping in with his volcanic bling. Bayle is the champion of magma magic and progenitor of all drakes and so-called lesser dragons. Some devout fans believe Bayle may have been a transformed goat who by chance nibbled on a previous iteration's remains. I'll explain how that isn't so ridiculous as it sounds. Hippos are primarily herbivores, eating almost exclusively grass and aquatic plants, but they are known to exhibit occasional opportunistic, omnivorous behavior, sometimes eating meat from carcasses and even killing other animals like wildebeest, especially when stressed or if food is scarce, making them technically omnivores in practice, just like goats. And even cows will munch on a snake to get the proper amount of nitrogen in their diet. I must recommend Miquella's alt account's video on crabs. It explains how you are what you eat.
Here's a song from back in the day, 1962. My woman put my black ass out cold. I said, baby, why you leaving? She said, I love done gone cold. Well, I waded through water and I waded through mud.
Finding yourself in the belly of a goat or a hippo may be viewed as a different flavor of afterlife. Just as I suspect being fed to a serpent was an ancient shaman punishment that they would inflict on each other. To be bound and melding with such a gluttonous and covetous creature may be more than dishonorable, but even stifling, unless your desires reflect a different palate. Cut content shows that Rykard was kinkier than we thought. I'll just read this. Disturbing likeness of an old noble whose skin was flayed. He smiles with a serene tenderness. Increases damage taken. This soft-featured man's name was Daedakar, and he was one of Captain Rykard's paramours, as well as attendant in his inquisition. He would test new methods of torture first upon himself, making a gift of his pain and first-hand knowledge to the one he loved. And now here's Chuck with the weather. Thanks, Tom. Frenzied flame vodka. You know you want to drink it, you crazy mother. Are you feeling low? Not getting enough rays from the Erd tree? Try our new vitamin D pills. Set your crooked immune system to rights with this once-in-a-lifetime offer. Have you had a bad day? Feeling down? Then come on down to Ihorn and have some scorpion flapjacks. Meet Granny. She loves to. Bayle's heart and Rykard teach us that being eaten is the other secret half of soul transfer. To give the soul. This painting is not of Tanith, but of someone dressed as a consort with a sacrificial rune painted on their forehead. Very similar to the heads of the victimized shamans. With so many characters burning their faces off, like Giza and Bernal's cut content maiden, I wonder if this goes beyond body-stealing dysmorphia. I think the outer gods are nearsighted, or at least easily coerced into blessing those who are masking the divine, through being eaten or just wearing skin. Or perhaps the naivety of the gods is all to their will, and the mortal affairs are beneath their attention. But I think they are simply spread thin across realities, like too little butter over too much bread. So many parallel gardens to tend to. After I saw 2 animated films about Neja, the scales fell from my eyes and I understood the ancient references. The Calamity Ring in Dark Souls is named after the event that heaven promised on Neja's 3rd birthday. The wrath of heaven would strike him with lightning, hoping heaven would destroy the demon orb within him. You see, the original and powerful object known as the Chaos Pearl was divided into 2 halves, the demon orb and the spirit pearl. The spirit pearl was meant to fuse with Nejah, but some evil trickery happened, and the treasures were swapped at the worst time, and the demon orb fused with a fresh newborn, birthed to a pair of demon hunters. Nejah's parents attempted to swap the fates of the host of the spirit pearl, the Dragon King's son, Ao Bing, with their demonic son, Nejah. But Nejah destroyed the talismans out of love for his newfound friend, Ao Bing. They would later be attacked by the Chan sect, a group of immortals who cultivated immortality pills out of dark methods. Using their family treasure, the Chuanyin cauldron, they had scooped up and scorched thousands of people into refined little pills. Then the evil master of the Chan sect would frame the attacks on the dragons. And while converting demons to a more righteous ways is a pillar of Eastern culture, this is the Crucible. Or at least the inspiration for it. I've come to a new understanding about the Crucible and its location. Before the Nejah movies, I thought it was a mysterious golden glow that Ordovia keeps staring at. But now I recognize it as the massive ruins we as a community have taken to calling the crumbling bits of Fair Missoula. Or at least I did. I still cannot get a grasp on the Crucible. Sometimes late at night, I wonder about how they used to call wombs bellies and recoil at this dark conflation and the implications of stomach births. How Buddha was born out of his mother's side, and the invention of the chainsaw, which may explain the connection with ulcerated tree spirits and their ruptured existence. Ulcerated tree spirits seem to be fragments of Godwyn's spirit, with 3 of them guarding Erdtree Favors +2 and their placements in other key areas such as French folk hero's grave, Ballarat, and even the Hallig Tree. They seem to symbolize more than a minor Erdtree's vengeance, but a crucible of souls into the trees themselves. Dregs of divinity boiling over like the pus of man in Dark Souls 3. These composite beings are referred to as ulcerated, not for their deathbed sores or their leprous appearance. They are birthed from the stomach ulcer of a crucible.
Oh! Be careful, that's nitric acid. We don't have very much. Oh! I hate this school lunch program.
Or perhaps the Crucible was a disease, a consequence of the shaman's rampant spirit transfer, where aspects of their previous soul transfer partners manifest in the hair or, in worse cases, horns on a newborn or misbegotten offspring that look like beasts. The Crucible may even be an unspeakable competition of the "and the father is" variety, Maury Povich style, where the tournament has become a microcosm inside of a womb. This may explain George R. R. Martin's love for bastard children with the wrong-colored hair, may play into Elden Ring's narrative, and how the Crucible is now viewed as shameful. Or who knows, maybe Radigan is the Elden Ring, the Elden Beast, and the Crucible all in one, either through parasitic conquest or preordained hierarchy. A collective consciousness formed from the dregs of each soul transfer interaction. In my first video, I posit that we are all shaman, and in my third video, I propose that we are all golems. Which leaves me wondering, how many genuine flesh and blood humans are there in the lands between? And are these bodies more coveted than their counterparts? Anastasia seems to devour Tarnished specifically, and complexions vary wildly, but I feel there is a special magic to the power of grade A flesh. This 5-star meat has powers. Perhaps we are all just ingredients for the gods and their eternal cooking show.
The rest of the book, to serve men, it's a cookbook.
Toxins. We're not in hell, Morty. We're in the detoxifier. The machine didn't blow up. It worked normally. It removed our toxins. We're the toxins. Are you listening, you stupid little garbage person? We're what got removed!
The spear-throwing magma slimes and the spears of the electric silver tears of the Nox sparked an idea I've had ever since seeing all 18 inches of Messmer. Messmer is Godwyn's other half, his other self, his shadow, his twin, his Saint Trina to his Miquella. The throwing spear technique may have originated with Radigan's smithing days, but I believe it is a clue into both Godwyn's and Messmer's personalities, and it would explain why the Black Knights, who use Crucible incantations and holy weapons. Imagine, if you will, a crusade where it did not end in impaling, but peace. Imagine a male Empyrean doomed to be devoured and leave the land with restless dead. In my first video, I talked about how deep inner conflict and bloodshed may literally fracture people, which explains Millicent hounding us in the swamp with both arms, while at the same time, suffering alone, waiting for a miracle. Messmer and Godwyn are polar opposites, yet share so much in common. This may even explain the dual nature shown in the Dragon Slayer set, gold and red. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Hit the bell for notifications just to keep in touch. I'll be back with my next video, The Dancing Lion.
Hollywood, whoa!
Until then, you are my sunshine. Eat your breakfast.